matters. Right? Move finishes, you're into the next play. Every time, anticipate, recognize the patterns, and then execute on what you know the high potential play is. Right? Cool. So Fuzz is going to go through this presentation tonight, and then when we finish up, if you have questions about it, we're going to go through questions and probably go through it again in the morning. So it's a lot of great info here, and I'm going to let Fuzz take it away, man.
So, hello everybody. So this presentation was made possible by someone in this room, Jim Menzies. Jim Menzies. And tried himself to provide the information that didn't work. So,
Kiwi.
and so let's go. Basically what I'm going to talk about is sail controls on a 470. Chose the 470 because it's quite a technical boat, quite a flexible rig, and there's lots of sail controls. And we're just concentrating on the mainsail. And there's many things to learn about this. And what this applies to, what you learn tonight applies to everything in your future sailing. Match racing, boat speed, and the combination, and from my mind, the combination of all these controls is a science and an art in itself. And if you have a great, if you learn these controls, you'll be fast on any boat you'll sail in the future. It's very important in my mind. So basically, we're just talking about, on a 470, we're talking about the cunningham, the outhaul, the boom vang, and the main sheet. That's all. What we're not talking about, that also controls the mainsail, the mast chops, spreaders, spreader sweep, spreaders out and in, stay tension, mast butt, and mast rate. All that in one sail. But we are going to talk about them all, but I ain't going to talk about the top 4 items. So we did all this in the computer. We set up the 470 in the computer and sailed it in a computer simulation. So we have to set up the case. Here's the computer model, mainsail, jib, and a trapeze, and an invisible person that's putting pressure on the rig. And we have wind conditions, the sail material, the sail properties, and the crew weight all added in the computer simulation. There's 470. If you have any questions, please just put up your hand. I'll go too quickly. So we have to set up the mast rate. We have to set up the pre-bed, head stay tension, shroud tension, where the mast step is. We have to describe spreader length and deflection. And all of those can be changed on a 470 and an I-420. And we did some of that today, didn't we? Out in the water. Right. I ran through this presentation earlier this morning with the I-420 guys, the girls, and it was pretty useful. Okay, so there's our setup over there, and so that's the model we use, and we're always familiar with this shroud tension device. Okay. Then now we've got the model set up in the computer, we have to decide on a sailing condition. So we decided in 12 knots of wind. We chose 47.1 degrees of true wind angle. That's the angle the boat's sailing against the wind. The boat speed is 7.34 knots. And we've got 6 degrees of heel. That's probably a little bit too much, but that's what we have. The apparent wind angle is only 29.5 degrees, and that's the angle that the sails see when you're sailing upwind. And of course we've got boat speed and wind speed. We've got 9.2 knots of apparent wind speed, and the boat goes sideways through the water. And if you didn't have the centerboard, you'd have more than 1 degree. It could be up to 4 to 7 degrees, depending on the sailing situation of the boat. And the crew's fully trapezing, and we have flat water. And that's basically the wind going over the sail. Is that all clear? Okay. So let's talk about the cunningham. What happens? We've got cunningham here. We pulled on 15 mils of cunningham. We pulled out some wrinkles. And add another 15 more mils of cunningham. No wrinkles. Another 15. There's certainly no wrinkles there. So that's about 45, right? 45 mils of cunningham. Inch and a half, something like that. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to describe now is something that's universal against all sailboats. What we have, we need to describe a sail shape. And this applies to America's Cup boats, 470s, to lasers, everything like that. So we have a length of the cord, which is from the front of the mast sail to the leech. And a percentage of that cord is the sail depth, we call camber. And in this case it's 10% of this cord length, but it could be 8%, could be 6, could be 12, could be 15. Everybody understand that concept? Got it. All right. Good. Well, let's go. Then the other thing we need to talk about is the draft position. Again, we use the cord length. We decide where the maximum depth of sail is, and we have a position back from the front. In this case, it's about 45% of the cord length. That's that. We're just going to keep it simple. Okay. Now here we have the yellow is where the sail without the cunningham, and the blue we have a little bit of cunningham on. The red some more, and the black even more. And what do you see?
Opens the leech.
Opens the leech. So it gets a little bit flatter. Okay. Pull out the wrinkles, the load, and basically take the mid camber. Starts off at 13%, goes to 12.2, 11.64. 10.98. So the cunningham flattens the sail, opens the leech. Quite reasonably powerful, especially on a 470. Is that clear? Cool. Okay. Next one. Oh, actually, just go back one. Sorry. The other thing that happens is we get twist. Goes from 19, 20.5, 21.9, 23.6 of degrees of twist. Okay? The cable has effect on mast bend, 4.5. It increases the mast bend on a 470 and increases the sideways mast bend. So it has two effects as well. Okay? Okay. Next one. Now here's an interesting slide. To me it's interesting anyway. When you put on the cunningham through the strain, the first thing that happens, it goes to the top of the sail. That's what opens up the head. And then of course you keep pulling it and you end up with strain all the way down the sail. But when you pull on, you pull out the wrinkles first, of course. Then when you have to strain the fabric, it goes to the top of the sail. That's quite a unique sort of situation in sail. That's very powerful in catamarans. Cunningham is everything. Make the head twist open. Okay? We have a healing moment. It reduces the healing moment because the sail is getting flatter and more twisted by about 8.2%. Okay? It has a large effect there. Okay? And let's play a video on the cunningham and have a look at the legs of the sail when we play this. Opens up there. And we go to the next slide, you probably have to see a better effect.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, well, have a look at this one. This is going to be a better slide. Okay, here's looking from the top. So there's some wrecking at the top, and you see that on 49er. You didn't have too much cutting on. See, what do you see? What moves? The mast. Mast bends, right? So cutting will bend the mast. Anything else? Try it again.
It's amazing how much mass bend there is.
Yeah.
We wouldn't think of it with a big metal stick like that, right?
That's right.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Just with the cunningham.
That's just
Not
cunningham.
adjusting anything else.
The outboard is loose, the vang's the same, the main sheet is the same. Just the cunningham. Now the other thing that happens is if the mast is very stiff, the mast doesn't bend very much, the draft will move forward. Okay. Okay. Any questions on the cunningham? Anyone find that interesting? Okay. Let's go on to outdoor. Boy, this looks exciting, huh? Let's go outdoor. Okay, so here we have the outdoor flat. And the CISA 10 mil, CISA 20 mil, CISA over an inch and a quarter. Yeah. So looking at those photos, what do you see that's different? What effect do you see on the sound?
Deeper.
What? More depth. And the other thing is how much shading, how much does the return of the backside of the mason do you see here?
Less.
How much do you see here? What would that give you on the boat? What effect would that have?
Height.
Height? More return, more lift. What about your helm? What happens? Heavier, right? So it's good in light air, heavy air, medium air. What do you think? Light air. What about a seaway? If it's choppy? Be quite dissolving, right? Okay, let's go there. Okay, so here you see the outboard being eased, and one part of the sail, the effect of the outboard goes up to how much height in the sail? About where? Bottom half, up to about the middle. And the camber changes here. Starts off at 1.67%. Here's a 10 mil, jumps to 3.6. Here's another 10 mil, 5.23. Another 10 mil, 6%. It goes from 1.67 to 6.03. So it's a big percentage increase. Does it have any effect on the mast bend? 4.5? Nothing 4.5. Up there. Really. And to be honest, it doesn't really, shouldn't have any effect on the sideways bends. That's probably just the noise of the program, to be honest. Okay. We've got some strain here, and the strain basically goes away pretty quickly on the foot. The rest of the sail doesn't change. Okay, by easing the outboard, we've increased the heating moment from 6.64, 0.83, 1.83, and below there, 2.39%. Increase the rolling moment of the boat 2.39%, just for the outboard, nothing else. Okay. Play a video of this, and you'll have a look at in this area in here. Play it one more time. Okay. Any questions? Good? Okay. Talk about the vang. Halfway through, 2 more controls to do. Alright, boom bang. Now on this, the boom bang is quite easy. It comes on and then the effect is only on the last 2. This is the first time we've done this presentation, so we've got to fine tune this in the future. But basically the load on the boat goes from 99 pounds to 199 to 203 pounds. This was the bank, the load sailing force on the boat. Changes that much. It's quite a lot. Okay, we reduced the twist. We reduced the twist at 19 to 17 degrees. As the sail comes up, gives more side load to force to the boat. Okay, questions? Okay, keep going. It has an effect of 4.5 bend. As the mast gets, the vang comes on, the boom forces the gooseneck forward, we end up with more 4.5 bend. And some sideways bend. Mainly 4.5 though. Okay. What's the last bit? 1.32. The heeling moment on the boat goes from 6.4, 6.9, 7.5 to 1.32 in the end. So the curve's flat and then gets quite steep. So if you want to heal the boat and you want to have some power on the boat in a breeze, the vang's a very powerful tool. And we'll just play the video. This video doesn't. It sort of happens all in the end. Just play it again. The first half doesn't really show much, and the last bit does. Have a look at the boom and the sail down here. It changes the sail all the way through here. Just do it one more time. Have a look through here. It changes the shape of the each profile. Okay. All right. So that's the boom bang. Any questions on that?
How does the boom bang affect an unstayed rig differently, do you think?
It is more sideways effect in the, and I think you can have more effect at the top of the sail.
So it bends the mast a lot more, because it doesn't seem like the boom bang creates a lot of mast bend here. Where
on this one, no,
yeah.
This is quite on this one. This is quite a stiff mast. On the one that showed the long mast there was a softer mast.
So it's interesting, because that's probably the most interesting thing for me about this last vang segment is that how different the boom bang affects different masts and different situations. If you didn't have side stays, like a laser, for instance, the boom bang has a completely different effect on the sail. It's really interesting to see a stiff rig versus a soft.
Or if you don't have partners in the mast partners.
If the partner, the mast goes forward and more 4.5 bend.
Yep.
So we're going to have to do a laser or a thin bottom on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on vang? It's a bit of a dry, sort of not as exciting as the match racing presentation, but it's different. Okay, let's do the last one, main sheet. Here's the main sheet, it's quite easy actually, 30 mils easy, the leash is quite open, we tighten it 15 mils, close, we get to our initial point, and then we tighten again. Again, what do you see? This is the back side of the sail, over here to over here. You have the same effect, right? So, some more power to the boat. Next one. So there we have the opposite, where the sail is eased out with the black lines, and as we tighten it up, it goes to the yellow line. We reduce the twist from 20 degrees, 17, 14.3. Reduce the twist a lot. Okay. Do you have a question? No? This one? 4.5 bend. Again, this didn't really do much with 4.5 bend because the mast is reasonably stiff on this model here. And again, if we had more wind pressure and we tightened, we started with the mainsail closer to the initial trim, we could change there. Okay. Okay, let's do healing moment. What a mainsail does for healing moment of the model. With the these, we are minus 3.46%. Then we trim it on a little bit. We're back to plus 64%. Then it's 5.9, and then the final one. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. 5.9 to minus 3.6 to 5.9%. 8 or 9% heating moment range. So the main sheet is by far the biggest contributor for heating moment. Okay. Let's play the video of this one. So basically, the combination of the cunningham, the vang, the outhaul, and the main sheet can has a dramatic effect on the power and the speed of your boat. And each one of them has a strong effect, but the combination of the four at different circumstances is very, very powerful. It can't be underestimated. That's the presentation. So any questions? Any questions?
So I've seen some similar figures from some sail-making friends and on some big boats I've sailed on. Is this strictly in the computer, or are you guys using small like load cells or something to find these numbers?
We have used load cells to convert the computer modeling. We've been doing the computer modeling has been around for about 15, 20 years now, and every year it gets more and more refined. And now we're based on super yachts. And certainly America's Cup World and Volvo World, we rely on them completely.
Did you rate these codes?
No, I didn't. No. It's Quantum Spain that they did. I'm not sure who the co-writer is. North Stars is a similar version, as I'm sure some makers do.
You're showing load increases and then percentage of increases of riding load or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Were there any things like that with diminishing returns or anything like what batteries you use when you guys signed up? Or anything you didn't know?
No, it's all pretty predictable what we know, and then because you have diminishing, if you keep putting on the main sheet, the healing moment goes up. But you need to run it through VPP, which is a velocity protection program. Then you'll see diminishing returns. Anything else?
Well, well, maybe Sydney can tell us, how are you working with the Olympic program with this kind of data?
So this is what was I think 6 times in the presentation, but we use this a lot. Fuzz has actually been doing a lot. I think he gathered a lot of this data from doing these. He had cameras all over their sail that they had built here in the United States because the sail that they'd been using previously had more luck for events than they desired. And so they took that sail, kind of cut it apart, and took the luck curve out a little bit and placed it somewhere else. And Fuzz's expertise in all of this sail making has allowed our team to make huge strides in the development of our sails and our equipment.
You'll use this as a learning tool, teaching tool as well. And the idea of this is so when people come through, we keep refining this model. I mean, we go back to the original slide. Slide number 2 actually. Slide 2. So we've only just done that. We still have to do that PowerPoint presentation, and that's the mazel and mask. Then we're trying to do the same thing for a jib, spinnaker, and asymmetrical. So, you know, one of the things you need to know is why you do certain things. It's okay we tell you to pull the cunningham on, but why? It's really good to know why. Because once you know why, then you know when to undo what we've done. Like out in the breeze, the 12 knots being pulled on outhaul's and canes and vangs and everything like that. If you sail down in here and sort of 6 knots of wind near the finish, you need to undo what we've done out there to keep the boat powered up. You always keep the boat fast. Okay. Anything else? Right. Thank you very much.